Hey everybody, welcome to Sunday Night Flesh and Blood. I'm Nick. I'm here with Colin and Brandon this time. We have a special guest. We are Team Raising Quell and the Turtle Squad, subsidiaries of the Romping Club. We're here with episode 7 of what's our podcast called? Sunday Night Flesh and Blood. We haven't recorded on a Sunday night in 4 weeks, so I forgot the name of our podcast. Welcome to Sunday Night Flesh and Blood. We have a lot to get through today. We're going to recap our ProQuest seasons a little bit. We're going to have an in-depth discussion with Brandon because he actually took home a win the last week of ProQuest on Victor. We'll talk about some Part the Mistveil spoilers, maybe talk about the Bolton Armory deck a little bit, calling Warsaw, talk about Minneapolis, and probably do a little bit of banter for Colin. So it's going to be a good time. So we'll get right into it. All right, Brandon, now you have to make the funky music. All right, guys. So first off, we'll just talk about a few topics before we get in depth talking to Brandon about his ProQuest and I guess our ProQuest seasons in general. Brandon definitely had the best one of all of us. But just this past weekend, Calling Warsaw kicked off and finished all in the same weekend. We had a Kano mirror for the finals. So first of all, how are we feeling about the Kano mirrors for the finals?
That sounds gross.
In the event that I'm not in, I'd love to see it because he'll rack up some LL points, and that's fine with me.
Get out of here? Yeah. I think...
Still gonna be...
Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, it's still going to be a long time before he LLs, right? Because he's only at, not even 400 points.
Probably. I've never really heard anyone talk about it, so he's got to be really far away.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a special event where you can only register Kano, and they give out 800 LL points for it.
That would be the dream.
But no, I do think I'm blowing right past talking about it, what actually the results were and everything. Because, anyways, Colin, we can come back to that. Do you have the results pulled up, like top 8 and stuff?
Yeah, if you want to hear them, we can.
Yeah, just go into it right now.
Okay, so top 8 was like a lot of the metas have been since Heavy Hitters dropped. Really, it was really diverse. You had 2 Kanos, but outside of that, every hero just was only represented with 1 player each. You had a Dorinthia, a Bolton, a Azalea, a Dash Inventor Extraordinaire, a Dash IO, and a KO.
Yeah, super diverse.
A couple warriors, couple mechs, a ranger, a brute, and 2 Kano.
Yeah, and then the Kanos made their way through the bracket for the mirror in the finals, like we said. I think okay, this is actually a good example. Kano, even though he's a pain in the ass to play against, I think he does serve a very good purpose in Flesh and Blood, which is he himself keeps out full-on fatigue decks from actually converting events. Like the Bolton that made top 8 was full Decimator axe. The only light card in their deck was Soul Shield. So that was the only Bolton card in their whole deck was Soul Shield. But Kano kind of can prey on those types of decks that just want to run you out of cards and never die, because Kano can pitch stack and do 300 damage. So it's I think I might actually miss him when he's gone. I mean, it probably won't be for another couple of years, but it's he definitely serves a purpose in the meta.
Man, how mature of you, because I just feel mostly rage when I think about him.
Same. Yeah, I don't care at all what happens to the meta when he's gone. Kano is not there, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is fair, Nick, but I think there's other ways to do that too. And I'm not saying that Kano should or shouldn't exist. That's not what we planned on getting into this episode, but I guess somehow we're here.
Some light banter.
But I don't know. I just think the axis he exists on is less fun than the other anti-fatigue heroes like Rhinar, and I would even say the Illusionists that can set up those big board states.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's even more fair than Kano.
Yeah, it's true. It depends on the deck, I guess. you and I are probably a little bit biased about the Illusionist because like into Prism and probably like Enigma, who's about to release. Bolton and Reinhardt do pretty well into them. But I'm also biased about Kano because like Bolton does okay into Kano too. So, but yeah, I was. I don't know. I feel like Kano does just like keep winning things randomly, but I feel like it's mostly battle hardens and stuff. So we get
Yeah.
like 40 points here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he'll spike the first week of PQs or RTNs, and then people start remembering that they can bring Null Rune and
Yeah.
Oasis
That's
and
where he
stuff.
shines. Like that first week of those like mini competitive weekends or whatever. That's where
Yeah.
like Kano just pops up, and then everybody's like, oh wait, I forgot I got a tech for this guy, and then
Yeah.
next week
Yeah.
it just drops.
I don't know if we have the numbers too. I guess to talk about something else from the top 8, but there was only one KO.
Yes. The
and I think
most registered events at the event.
yeah, it was like it was like over 100, right?
Yeah.
102, I believe.
That's a lot. Out of how many? Like
How many total players?
400?
I
Was it
don't know.
400? It's probably like 400 something, I would assume.
Yeah, it was like I think it was between 3 and 4.
Yeah. That's a lot. And I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. He's clearly the best deck in the format. Might remain the
Yeah.
best deck in the format after Part the Misfail. I don't know. He's so good that I think I'm not gonna play Bolton in Minneapolis, which is like crazy because I think I
You're
just want to see
leaning
him.
toward KO.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards KO because I'm like, well, if he's that good, maybe I could actually win something. So we'll
Right.
see. But I'll probably just like do bad and then be like, oh shit, I'm a bad player, so I should stick to Bolton. So, but anyways,
I think the biggest absence from top 8 is Victor, and that's your boy Brandon. And yeah, he actually had pretty good day 1 to day 2 numbers, 12 out of 42 converted, which is
Yeah.
one of the higher conversion percentages, but none into top 8. Brandon, what do you think?
So I'm looking at the top 24 chart. There's one in
Okay.
15th and one in 17th, and they both have 9 wins. So that means they just lost that one game to put them in. So
Okay.
someone to top 8 they lost to and just couldn't get that victory. I'm pretty curious as what their lists like are, and if like they lost to KO or Kano. That's kind of what I'm assuming kept them out.
yeah, maybe they got paired into those Kanos and got nuked.
Yeah, it could be because Kano's a pretty bad matchup for Victor, unless you're just all gas and you get like you force them into their combo, and if they have it, they have it. If they don't, you might win.
Yeah.
So. But
Yeah, I mean, and you're right to not focus on top 8 because Victor did have the highest conversion percentage out of like the top, I think 7 or 8 most registered decks. He registered like 29%, which above of the decks played in double digits is like one of the highest.
Mhm.
So like I think on the whole this weekend he had like a good record, but just no one had one of those win and ends or anything.
Yeah, everybody shine with Victor now because we're about to get assassinated. Nobody's gonna want to play Victor or Bravo or Betsy or any Guardian because
So Brandon, for people like myself, to be honest, who like haven't played around with the new cards too much yet, my hero's not being serviced, so I haven't really spent a lot of time diving deep into it. Why do you say that? Like, what is it that's gonna screw the Guardians?
so new specifically, Uzuri might get Assassin's just a hard matchup in general, for the Guardians because it's hard to know how to block, and then it's kind of hard to know when to push back. It could just be like a me problem, and I'm just projecting this to all Guardian players. But new specifically, the few first games that I played, I think a brand new player and a Victor player that doesn't understand what new does will run over Victor easily. I played a game online that was one of my first games where she played some blue card, played 2 cheat cards, transcended twice, and then used her ability and played 3 of my cards from my banished zone because she hit it. She played 1 blue card, gave it go again, played another, popped her boots, gave it go again, and then played another. It was like buckling blow, buckling blow into Macho Grande from
Oh
my
my
banish.
God.
I was like, this is toxic. Like, and then
Was that?
there's the other card that's like, it just got released this week. If it hits and you've activated 3 or more attack reactions, then look at their hand, banish a card, and then look through their deck and graveyard and banish all of those. And I'm
Just get
like, what is this? I had one banish all my pummels, and then
Oh!
another one banished all of my mansions, my gold main estates.
Dude,
Wait,
I'm
so
about to
it
start
doesn't.
playing freaking new. That sounds awesome.
That card doesn't check for color, so it could banish 9 cards.
It checks for the name. So you
Oh
banish
my
anything
gosh.
of that name. So if I had 2
Wait.
red pummels and a blue, you could banish all of those.
So in theory,
Well, let
if
me
you
pull
had
it up
9
exactly
pummels,
what it says.
it would banish all 9 pummels.
No, you up to 3. Up to 3.
Oh, up to 3. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
balanced. Fair and balanced. Fair
Yeah,
and balanced.
sure.
Oh, they play 3 copies of it though, I'm sure. So look at your pummels eventually.
That's true. That's true. Dude, that's pretty cool though. But no,
Bonds of Agony, that's what it's called. Yeah.
it seems like there is like this. There's like this, and I think it's very true for new. Like if you just look at her damage numbers and everything, like even her attack reactions that are like 1 for 3 plus a go again or whatever. They're
or
like
+5.
yeah, or but just like the common ones, like the run of the mill, like the bread and butter ones, I guess.
Right.
The damage is like below rate in Assassin, right? So it's like the disruption. The idea is like disruption makes up for it, but then it's like I think they probably realized pretty quickly when testing new. It's just like, oh, if a deck just like never blocks and just like is aggressive, like they kind of just steamroller, and they're like, okay, let's make her be able to like she is going to disrupt you no matter what you do.
Right, yeah. I
Which
need
is
to like test
yeah.
to see if it's like an actual viable strategy. Just like most of the time, just say no blocks, or like go
Yeah,
card for card and see is this worth blocking?
yeah,
What's the most damage you can do? Blah blah blah. Do I need to? If this hits, like, are you actually gonna banish something crazy from my deck? From my
yeah.
deck, which is crazy. You're gonna look through my entire deck.
Yeah.
Nuts. Like just
like,
the
tell me what you
even
want.
if
I'll get it for you.
like right, even if like you weren't banishing, just looking through somebody's deck is crazy to me.
For real.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
what? Just do a quick glance. What defense reactions are you running? What other attack reactions are you
Yeah,
running?
that hit, dude.
Like, oh, I can't find this card, man. Oh man, I
Because
can't.
she's so seductive, dude. She freaking got your ass. Like, show me
She's not
that
getting
deck,
me.
boy. Sorry.
We got a aspiring new player here.
What what that deck do, boy? Okay, sorry. Anyways, so I think we've already kind of like gone into it, I think, but for spoiler season that started, I'm sure next week or the week after, I don't know if we're gonna do every other week or every week anymore. I don't know what's even happening anymore. But for spoilers so far, just real quick, because we've seen almost the whole set. Brandon, do you have a card from Part the Mistveil that you are the most excited about, besides the Victor one, besides the Gold Main Estate? Was that your answer? If that was your
Yeah.
answer, okay.
That is
All right.
definitely the one I'm most excited for. But who knows if I'll even be on Victor for like Minneapolis.
True. Okay, so
Um,
that card, like, what excites you about the card?
I've been playing with it. It's so good. It can get you out of some crazy situations, but also like just make your hands nuts. Like
And
I
this,
swung a Golden Sun for 23 yesterday.
oh my god!
Yeah.
And this is the one. I'll read it for everybody. It's a blue 3-block Guardian action, costs 1, Victor specialization. Create a gold token. Then, if you control 3 or more gold, create that many might tokens. Go again. And the shield does count as a gold. So if you
Yeah.
just play this and you have the shield, you already have 2.
Right.
So, yeah.
So like ideally, you can like test their strength first and get that starting gold.
That's value.
Yeah. So I did a turn yesterday that I wasn't sure. It puts me in that same situation like if I were to play Rhinar and I have two blood rushes, like do I play both or do I like stagger them? But I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just going for it. So I was able to double up on this card. I drew off of the gold, I drew like an E strike and was able to E strike CNC and then have like 11 might tokens. And then the next turn send Golden Sun for 20 whatever it was.
That's
And
awesome.
it was
That's
nuts.
really cool.
Like
Damn.
this card is so cool. And off of like when you win a trounce, you get a vigor token. So it's just free. You're just
Oh, that's
replacing the
true.
card. If you have tunic, you just tunic, play it,
Maybe
make a
that'll
gold
probably
draw
help you
card.
into like Kano, help you kill that piece of crap faster.
Yeah, for sure.
22 is over 2/3 of his life, so just do that.
Yeah. If I could just do that. Yeah.
Easy game.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, if everything you've said so far is true, Brandon, maybe LSS like is wary of Guardian maybe taking a step back in this set, and that's part of the reason they pushed that card a
Oh,
little bit.
they're losers.
I mean, Enigma's probably gonna be tough for Guardian too. Like, maybe. I don't know.
With all these new spoilers that just got released today, it might be a little tough.
Yeah.
It wasn't tough before. I was running over Enigmas. But
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it might be hard now that they have their actual cards. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I was
they're
playing
real
Bolt into
majestic.
Enigma with like basically just their blitz decks, and I was like, dude, this match
Yeah.
is easy. Like, what's
Yeah,
going
that
on?
was literally me. Like, man, Enigma? This is an illusionist? Free wins. Now I'm like, yeah, Ward 10? Oh, okay.
That freaking huge one.
That is a lot.
Dude, the art on that card is also sick. I don't remember what it's called. I don't even care to find it, but it's just a bunch of old men made of clouds in the sky.
I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, like 10,000 something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
um,
Honestly, this whole set, they are going crazy with the art.
dude, the art
Like,
is so good.
There's so
I was
many
gonna
cards. I'm
say
like, I need a playmat of that, or like, I just want a poster of that
Yeah.
on my wall or something.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, the art is so sick. In like, yeah, the whole set, the art's amazing.
yeah. But yeah, the card I'm looking forward to is Goldmane Estate, and the card I'm least looking forward to is every single card that says Assassin at the bottom. But but yeah,
Heck
that's
yeah.
my expectations of this set.
Colin, do you have a card from that's been spoiled so far that you're into, or are you still looking around? Because I know you've been a little checked out. You've been busy with other things, playing Lorcana, right?
I've
No.
never played a game of Lorcana. Thanks,
I'm
though.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not that I'm not open to it. But no, I really don't have a card that jumps out to me. What I would say is, I mean, I'm hesitant to act like an expert when I'm not. But what I would say is the cards I'm keeping my mind on are That All You Got, This Round's on Me, Censor, and Amnesia. Because I think all those cards could be good in the new set. And I obviously am thinking of it from a Rhinar perspective. And those are the cards I'm like, I used to play those cards, and they used to be kind of good at some points. I think they might actually be good again. So let me go dust them off.
Yeah. Yeah, especially all the ones you named, I think are could be pretty good into Zen.
Yeah, Zen is my first thought because Ninja is something where like Brutus struggled historically. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what can I do? It's just assuming this is going to be a hard matchup. And the other
Yeah.
ones, like, I don't know. I need to see how they play before I start planning to how to play against them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that makes sense to think about, which one's going to be your worst matchup first. But yeah. So I think the card I'm most excited about, and I don't even think it's close for me, because Zen is the hero I'm most excited about from the set. But it's the Majestic defense reaction. It's called Territorial Domain. Blue, 0 cost, blocks 2. But it has, while this is defending, if you've created a Crouching Tiger this turn, this gets +3. So what that means is the ninja block card, Tiger Eye Ambush, I think it's called, that has, when you block with it, you create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone. You can play it your next turn. If you block with that card, like say you block with the yellow, that blocks 3. Then the D-React blocks 5, and you make a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone that you can play. Like, that's just insane value. That's like 2 cards right there for like 3, 8, and like you can call it Crouching Tiger 1. It's like 2 cards for 9 value, and I'm about it. I'm so about it.
That seems
Uh,
good.
and I think because there's a cycle of cards in the ninja section that aren't spoiled yet, and it's in like the reprints. I think we're gonna get a red Tiger Eye Reflex, and if we do, like, oh my god, like blocks 4, you can block with it from Arsenal because it has the ambush ability. So it's like being able to like block a CNC
Mm,
with that
from
from
your arsenal,
Arsenal,
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, oh my god. I said on like a couple episodes ago, like all I want is for Zen to be just like this beefy, like tanky, mid-rangey ninja that's just like can be defensive and then just like pop off out of nowhere. And that's like exactly what he is. And I
Yeah,
know,
I
yeah,
see your vision now for sure.
dude,
Like
yeah.
if they reprint that card, that'd be pretty nuts.
Oh, dude, yeah. With the red one, it'd be like a 2 card 10.
Yeah,
Like it's insane. It's insane. Like it's just so good, and it's a blue. So like, oh my gosh, yeah. I'm like losing it about that card. And I think like the place that most people are starting with deck building is like just super Crouching Tiger combo, Art of Wars, whatever, like the
right.
Tiger Swipe that makes all the things. But I'm like not starting there because I think that deck kind of builds itself. So I'm trying to start more with the okay, if I want to build like a true mid-range Zen deck, like what's it look like? I'm having a lot of fun actually looking into that. So I don't think I'll play it like in Minneapolis or anything, just because I don't think there's enough time to get comfortable on it. Unless I feel like I like actually broke something, but I've never built an actually really good deck ever in my life. I don't think so. I'm waiting for someone
I
else to
did
break it.
I did remember another card too that I'd forgotten about, so I have
Mm,
an answer now to your question.
okay, what is it?
So it's that one where it's a 6 power, and if it hits, you look at their hand and you get to like banish or discard. I forget which a card in their hand that doesn't have a block value. It's like an instant or like the brute, like non-blocks like pulping and stuff like that, and
Mm.
then you draw
Oh
a card.
yeah,
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's
that
the
card's pretty
weakest
sweet.
link.
Weakest link. That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That card's pretty sweet. Especially like if you can pair it with like an agility token, it could really help things a lot as a player who can't like really disrupt other people a lot. Um, and now this card lets you disrupt. I mean, certain heroes obviously because not everyone runs no blocks, but
Hmm.
especially like seems like there's a lot of no blocks in the new set, and then there's lots of like powerful instants in the game. And this card like really screws with those, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and the best deck in the format runs a lot of no blocks.
Yeah,
KO.
exactly. Yeah, if there's like an agility Rhinar on the menu, it could definitely run this card into KO, and it would be really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that card a little bit. It's called the Weakest Link, and it's got
Yeah.
the CNC template. Red, cost 2, 6 power, 3 block.
Hmm.
But yeah, I remember thinking when that card was released, I was like, shoot, that card alone might scare me off of KO because it's like you just could get steamrolled by that card. Like that's rough.
That's like the
Yeah.
worst part about a new set. You see all these new cards that are like bad against you, and you're like, wait, should I even be
Yeah,
playing this hero?
yeah, dude, exactly.
Then you come up with all these like very specific scenarios that just
Yeah,
work terribly against you, and it's like,
dude,
oh,
if the moon is 3/4 full and then this happens,
and then this happens, and
and
then
I'm
I get hit with this, and then they pummel it. Oh my gosh, it's over. I lost.
yeah. So, anyways, so yeah, I'm overall I'm like super excited for this set. I know there's already like people are throwing around like, oh, we're back to like Tales of Aria power level, whatever. I don't know if that's the case, but there's definitely some powerful stuff happening in this set, and it's like super interactive. And to me what it seems like is like all of the heroes, things can like snowball for them, either on a turn by
Yeah,
turn basis or like a over the course of the game, with the case of like Enigma or something. So it's like I think there's a lot of like at face value things don't look as powerful maybe as like they could they could be. Um,
It's
so
more
yeah,
card text than numbers, I think is what you're trying to say, right?
that's basically exactly what I'm trying to say, and I never thought about it like that. But yeah, there's just like a lot going on, and it's really
Hmm.
cool. And I think Limited's going to be freaking awesome. Like, yeah, so many blues transcending all the time. Like, oh, I think there's going to be so many like little interactions to master in the Limited format. Um, I'm pumped, and I just like love draft in general. Like, yeah, I'm super excited.
I
Me
never have
too.
like a good eye for like, oh, this is great in draft, this is great in sealed, blah blah blah. I have to like play it and experience it. So I'm not as excited for limited as you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still gonna be cool, but I have to like I gotta see this stuff in action.
Yeah, I get that. I've like felt like that a lot before too. I think heavy hitters started like really taught me a lot of like how to value a card, like just at face value when you first see it. Um, I will say, dude, the biggest bomb in the whole set for limited is going to be there's like this mystic card. It's basically E Strike, but instead of
Oh,
choosing something,
they split it up.
it can do everything, but you just choose one for each blue you've picked. So yeah, it's E Strike. It's a blue, attacks for 3. When this attacks, choose one for each blue card you've pitched this turn. Draw a card, it gets +2, or it gets go again. So if you're like on a turn where you've like transcended and like pitched your cheese and stuff, this is like a 1 for 5 go again that draws a card.
Hmm.
Like this is the bomb of the set, I think. So a little preview. So we're gonna have Pedro on to talk limited in a week or two. So gosh, I'm just fired up. I'm like so excited. I didn't plan on going down that rabbit hole, but I'm just
No,
excited.
that was a good conversation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we need to get to talking to Brandon actually soon about his ProQuest season and everything. Um, so a quick update: Bolton Armory deck. Haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. They spoiled that sweet ass new Light Warrior D React Saving Grace. That's gonna be that card is gonna. That's all I'm gonna say about it. That card is gonna play so much better than it reads. Like there's gonna be so many situations where that card is so good and prevents damage on 2 chain links and like, oh, it's gonna be so good. Get some new equipment. We got fancy new Snapdragon scalers that block basically, except you got to use a card for it. Basically block, trade a card in your hand for 3 block and a quicken token. And then yeah, there was another thing spoiled. But anyways, Minneapolis. I'm going to Minneapolis. Colin, are you going to Minneapolis?
Not gonna make it this year.
What the hell, man? You're gonna make me go all alone? Just
Yep.
kidding. Me and my wife are going. We're making a trip out of it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna bar hop the Mall of America. I'm fired up.
Nice.
Yeah. Brandon, are you gonna go to Minneapolis? Do you know yet?
I'm hoping my job is kind of not wanting me to, so
I think you
I gotta
should.
quit.
Yeah, either quit
Do
your
it.
job or tell your boss, be like, look, boss, I'll give you tournament equity if you give me the time off. So I'll give you tournament equity. So any of
I
my
don't think I want
winnings,
to share that.
so I'll give you 5% of my tournament winnings, and then just win nationals, and then you're good.
How much is it? Like 10,000 if you win?
I think so. And like a gold foil legendary. But at the EV might be higher on the calling. If you win the calling, it's like 7,000, and the gold foil balance of justice, which is like
And a
what, like
PTI, I think, too.
10K or something like.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, I
PTI.
wouldn't be playing in nationals. I'd be in the calling.
Oh yeah. I'm just going for the calling too because I don't want to play in a 3-day tournament and just like leave Anna in the hotel room. So we're gonna spend Friday doing stuff around town.
Okay. Fair enough.
So anyway, so yeah, Minneapolis is coming up. We'll talk about it more over the next couple weeks. But that gets us into what's Arsenal Pass say? That gets us into our main topic of the pod. We're talking to Brandon. We're talking to Brandon of the Turtle Squad, subsidiary of the Romping Club, about his ProQuest season because he had a hell of a run this ProQuest season.
Yeah.
So I know we got some questions prepared for you. But do you just want to go ahead and give us like a quick rundown of your ProQuest season before we get into any questions?
Yeah. Quick recap. This is like the best I've ever done consistently, competitively. I went to 4 ProQuests, top 8'd all of them, top 4'd, I mean, I guess technically 3 and 1-1. So, yeah. And like my records were pretty good. I even won against bad matchups like Kano. Kano and Prism are the 2 that I won that I'm the most proud of, because you could ask Lewis, another member of the Turtle Squad, anytime I was like, "Hey, Lewis, you got like some time I can play a game?" I had to grind that Prism matchup into the ground, and then when it finally came up, we played once. This is the day that I actually won. We played once in Swiss, and I lost horribly. He It felt kind of high rolly on his end. Like he was just all gas from the beginning, and I just couldn't play catch up. But in the top 8 match that we played, which I had to play him first, that one felt like a fair game, and I knew exactly what I was doing just because of all the practice that I had. So yeah, I had a really, really good run with the pro quests, and it felt like super accomplishing because I put in so much time to
Yeah.
to make those the bad matchups like doable.
Yeah, you were like you got to the point where you understood all of your outs in every matchup,
Yeah,
and
except
it
Uzuri.
showed.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. Yeah, she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So in the one you won, you played Prism in top 8. And I should mention, like, the guy you played against, he has like multiple RTNs and ProQuest wins under his belt. Really good player. So you should really be proud of
Yes.
yourself, especially for that one. And then who did you play top 4 and in the final?
I played a dash after that. So for the what is that, semifinals? I played versus Dash. That game was pretty high rolly from me. All my clashes hit. I was just going all gas. I think I threw a righteous cleansing for 12. I pummeled a CNC, I think twice.
Ooh,
Like
ooh.
I was going in that game. Like there's no turning back. Yeah, I just had a ton of pressure in that game. And then the finals was versus Riptide, which was CJ, who is an
Yeah.
insane Riptide player. Like actually, like
Yeah, dude.
I watched his game. He played versus Guy in the semifinals, and he won. But like the plays he was making were just chef's kiss. Like it was, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah,
That's
Um,
awesome.
he was wearing that long ass hat too.
yeah. So it's funny. My very first game of that day was versus a different Riptide, and I kind of forgot how Riptide works because nobody plays him. So I'm like falling into all his traps. Like I'm just throwing my zealous beltings, my go agains, I'm putting might tokens on everything. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then he starts trapping me, and I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And I almost lost that game. I had to pivot strategies like mid game, and then I'm like playing catch up, so it felt kind of rough. And I almost lost that game. I had to like stack a trounce with a Macho Grande and pray he didn't have a trap, which I knew he didn't have a trap that could kill me. I was at like 6 or 7 health, something like that. But still, the fear was there that he could like get around it.
Mhm.
So because of that game, I did play CJ in Swiss, I think round 3. But because of that first game, I like knew exactly how to play against Riptide, so it was way easier. And then that ultimately helped again in the finals. So that's how my day went there. And it's also funny because my 2 best matchups in top 8 got rid of my 2 worst matchups, which were Viserai and Uzuri. I'm like rooting for these 2 to win so that I could have an easier time going in.
That's
That's
awesome.
like that's crazy to hear, because like if I'm trying to put together your whole story and like, you know, make something out of it, like find a theme or whatever, it's like you learned a lot from your Riptide matchup that helped you beat Riptide later.
Right.
You dodged the Prism high roll when you needed to, like he high rolled you in Swiss instead of top 8, and then in top
Right.
8 you saw the matchups you need to, and that's like all that stuff needs to happen for people to win events, because winning events is
Yeah.
freaking hard.
Yeah. And it's fun because everything is the same thing as the Riptide games. Everything in that Prism game that went wrong, I just adapted to my top 8 game. Like
Mhm.
it was kind of high rolly, but there were still some small mistakes that I made, And small mistakes versus Prism cost you the game easily. If
Yeah.
you don't kill the right aura at the right time, you're dead.
Yeah.
Especially as a Guardian where you can't clear stuff. So
And I think too another thing that makes just like your whole run in general really impressive is one that Victor's clearly an unplayable deck. Just kidding. That's sarcastic. But there's some of that going around in the
Yeah, I
Flesh
don't
and
even
Blood
know if we
community.
mentioned
Like,
that, but I don't even know if we mentioned that, but we should. That Brandon was on Victor for all 4 events.
oh yeah, Brando's playing Victor. If you couldn't tell by
the
how
whole time.
when he was talking about the cards he was playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's on Victor. But also like the impressive thing, and I'm sure that like every single area feels this way, but Central Florida has like some amazing players, like calling
Yes.
champions, nationals runners ups, like people who have gone undefeated in CC at Pro Tour.
Yeah,
Former child
battle-hardened.
Evan Herndon, battle hardened champions, like all around. Like
Ryan
I feel
Armanes.
Ryan Armanes.
I
got-
did have to play against former child Evan Herndon too.
Yeah, dude, he's freaking cooking over there with Dash IO.
Yeah.
But it's like there's like there is no event, probably just in like all of Florida, that like is easy. Like you're
No.
gonna run into people who are like exceptional at this game. And you still are kicking their ass, dude. So good job. Not, but seriously, it's like really stiff competition. And you like performed, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it definitely felt good, especially because people say like Victor's bad. I should just be on Bravo. But like Bravo's so boring compared to Victor.
Yeah.
Like
He doesn't-
blocking and then get rewarded and then you can do like crazy stuff is
Yep.
like just so
Block-
fun.
blocking for and drawing a card is freaking
good.
sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I drawing cards sometimes. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I mean, you always win your clashes. That's
oh yeah, I've never
how you
lost
win
class in my
events.
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And if I lose, I just pay to win.
literally with your gold.
Yeah.
So how are you like? You kind of touched on it earlier, but after your like ProQuest run and everything, I'm sure right afterwards, like in the days after your the ProQuest season, you're like, heck yeah, I can't wait to take this deck to Minneapolis. Like I'm gonna freaking top 8 the calling. This is sick.
Yeah.
But then you
You can-
sounded a little bit like, I don't know, a little more apprehensive, or like, I don't know if I might not play Victor because of Assassin. Like, I don't know. How are you feeling going forward into the next format?
So my deck was feeling good. I even like tuned it a little to help with Uzuri, and then fix like some sideboard things. And I was like, after the last PQ, I was like, man, this is great. I feel great. I'm just gonna beat this Uzuri matchup into the ground, like just like I did with Prism, and just learn it. And then spoiler season started, and then all these cards that banish from your hand and then banish from your deck, and then you're playing my blues, and I'm like, this is making Victor feel like actually unwinnable in this matchup, versus new specifically. So I'm really on the fence now. Like this set just seems like it's just Guardian just seems terrible in this next meta coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that makes new good is making Uzuri better. So yeah.
Azuri's gonna be doing some dumb shit.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it. Well, actually, like, whatever. I think
I
Azuri's
feel-
like really cool hero, but it's like when you pair into a good Azuri player, it is a tall task
Yes.
to
Because
get
like
there in that game.
now you already have, so the stealth cards before you play Isolate, which does nothing. It just has Dominate. Okay, whatever. I know you're gonna switch into this. Or you have the one that gives a Blood Rod. Okay, whatever. It's just gonna give me a Blood Rod. You're probably gonna switch in. Now you have stealth cards with actual meaningful on-hit effect. So you might prepare for a switch, and they're like, "Oh, nah, you just eat this one," and you just now you're banishing cards from your hand, or whatever. And they just like instead of switching out, they're just pumping it,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're screwed. like, or you
Yeah.
block 6 on it, and they're like, "Oh, haha, you've fallen into my trap again."
Yeah.
And now they pump it even more, and then banish your attack actions on that chain, or something
Yeah.
like that.
And like against Azuri specifically too, like you just like have to do so much guessing. It's like
Yeah,
or like just so much. I don't know. You have to like calculate the risk and reward of every situation. It's like okay, if they switch into CNC here, like whatever, it's fine. But if it's a shakedown, that really messes with me, and you have to like
right,
do the figure out like okay, what do I need to play around at all times? But now it's like with those assassin cards that care about how many times you've reacted. Like Azuri's hero ability counts as one for those ones, so they could like switch into like one of those new like from a stealth card to another stealth card,
yeah,
and then
that's
like
true.
play a reaction on top of it, and then all of a sudden, okay, they've done 2 reactions, so now that's getting +2 and the +3, and it's gonna
Right,
banish 2 cards, and they're gonna draw. Like it's gonna get wild.
yeah. And I don't know I think I'm pretty sure Uzuri has access to all the new stealth cards. I don't know about all the new like reactions, but even just like throwing shred and cut to the chase like could be enough.
Yeah,
Because I think one of the stealth cards gets like +3 if you've activated 2 or more reactions,
yeah.
something like that.
Let
There's
me
probably
find
one
it
like that.
because that card's really cool too. Like, hang on. Oh yeah, the Bonds of Agony card is just Assassin. The one where it's 3 or more.
Yeah,
Look at their
yeah,
hand banished. So Azuri can play that too. Sick. Can't wait.
yeah. So if they
Um,
like switch into that and then shred and then cut to the chase, they're giving +6 to this card, and now you just cry.
freaking Brian just couldn't stand that his own class he invented was mid. So now it's freaking pushed as hell. Just kidding. That
Oh,
was
did
a
he
joke.
design this?
Yeah, I think he like
All right.
at least well I guess he came with like Arachne. Like that was I think that
All
was his
right.
thing. I don't know.
I'm writing a strongly worded letter.
Do it.
To LSS.
Brian.g@lss.gov.
I'm gonna write it as if I'm Victor.
I can't find this card. Oh, here it is. Double Trouble. It's a yellow. It's only. Oh no, no. Okay, it's a cycle. So yeah, it's like it's a cycle, but the red is red, 0 cost, 3 block, 3 attack. Stealth. If you've played or activated 2 or more attack reactions this chain link, it gets +2. And when this hits a hero, banish the top 2 cards of their deck.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
There's a couple of cards like that. So
Yeah.
just assassin in general is making me a little hesitant to play Victor, because I think this is my meta prediction for Minneapolis. I think assassin's going to be one of the top classes represented there. I
Yeah.
think
I
brute
think a lot of people are
and
gonna
then
pick it up.
assassin. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think
Especially in the
guardian's going to
calling
go
too.
way down.
Like people who are like maybe scrub out of nationals, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna play the calling and have
Yes,
fun, and they'll be like, new looks fun. Like I'm gonna play it. So I can see
exactly.
that happening too.
Yeah.
Um, Colin, do you have any more questions prepared for Brandon about his ProQuest
Um,
season?
yeah, I do actually. I'm actually quite curious. I think Brandon's run was like really unique in a lot of ways. He's not just like someone who came off the pro tour and just won one event, the only event he played. He's someone who is practicing a lot and grinding a lot and becoming reward for it. So I think he's like the kind of person that people can learn a lot from.
Mm-hmm.
One question I have is like specifically about your like growth over the season, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you like did better consistently. Like you top 8 at every event,
Yeah.
but didn't you finish higher in every like subsequent event?
Yeah, I've got top 8 the first one, top 4 the next 2, won the very last one.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, like how do you feel about like adjusting your deck like mid season, like not trying to overreact, but also trying to like fix your deck, like adjusting your deck mid season, but also just like adjusting your mindset mid season, like getting better from one week to the next, especially after you have like decent results that you put up. I think like most players, they top 4 in events and they're like happy more or less, even top 8 in event, and they're happy more or less. But you like had the right mental mindset and you like to approach your deck the right way, that you kept getting better. So like, can you talk about that?
Yeah. So the very first ProQuest was like all stress, because
Yeah.
I like to think a lot, especially about like matchups. Oh, what am I gonna see? What am I gonna see? What's gonna happen? What do I have to do in this matchup? there's a lot of stress. And then it wasn't until I was like there and I was like, okay, calm down. Pedro always tells me 1 game at a time. That's our Turtle Squad slogan. 1 game at a time. So after getting top 8 there, going to the next one, my mindset was kind of more like I've already top 8'd one. I feel good. If I don't do well here, it's not that big of a deal. So being able to like relax a little going in made like my mindset easier like playing the game. Because the second pro quest was collective and I lost the very first game. I had to win the next ones, all the next ones, just to get top 8. And just losing that first game, I'm like, okay, it's okay. Like, let me just relax. Still 1 game at a time. So that's exactly what I did, and then ended up winning and going up to top 8 still.
So wait, let me just ask you then, like point blank, like, does that mindset make you play better? Like that lack of stress?
Uh, yeah, because I'll like over not overreact, but when I stress out or can't like think straight, I make dumb plays or like careless plays. So I need to like relax. And honestly, this has been the biggest like growth in a short amount of time that I've ever had, like playing the game. Because you could ask like Pedro and Lewis, like when we go to major events, I'm the one that's like, oh man, this is gonna be rough. I'm thinking about every game. I'm thinking about game 5 before the tournament even starts. Like,
Mhm.
so I have really learned the value of just 1 game at a time, breathe, relax. It's okay if you lose, it's okay if you win, but 1 game at a time. You can't think
Mhm.
too far ahead.
And,
And that's what carried me through the rest of all my pro quests.
and are you going to be able to carry that to Minneapolis?
I definitely will.
Until
For
he
sure.
sees me in the finals of calling.
Yeah. Yeah, until I'm
So,
freaking
yeah.
out that I'm looking at Nick.
Yeah.
And then I
It's
have
like,
to
how the
like
hell did he get here? What the?
yeah. I'd mostly
No.
be like upset because I have to like beat Nick, like, and it won't be close.
Would be the
But
first time.
yeah.
No, I think that is like just such a valuable lesson of like, and I don't know, you hear it all the time. And people say like, yeah, just like don't get tilted. Don't, I don't know, don't freak out. Just like take it 1 game at a time. But it's like it's so easy to start thinking about like, okay, all right, like I won this one, so like I could win the next 2 and then lose one more and then win one more and then I'm in. But it's
Yeah.
like none of it. Like it's like no, like the only thing that actually matters is like the game that's going to happen
Yes.
right now. So that yeah, that truly is the only thing that matters. And then after that, if you don't just win the next one, then nothing else matters. It's like yeah, and uh, I think kind of too just like saying it out loud to yourself or
Yeah.
just like in your head a lot, just be like okay, like just win the next one. Or like okay, next just this game, like win the next one, win this one, worry about this one or like I don't know, kind of just chanting it to yourself like actually
Yeah.
help.
Right. And like
Yeah.
that's some of the value of having like a team. Because like Pedro was with me at a few of the pro quests, and he always says like no matter what happens, no matter what matchup you're up against next, what you do doesn't change. You have to win the next game to
Mm-hmm.
keep going.
Yeah.
So it's always 1 game at a time.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's a mindset that I've really learned these past couple weeks.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I think yeah, I think that probably goes hand in hand with like how much growth you saw just like in your play too.
Yeah.
Cuz
So
yeah,
when that came to deck building, um, it kind of like opened my mind to see like what my deck is really weak to, and I was able to fix those mistakes. I
oh
wasn't
yeah.
able to like prepare against Uzuri, but just seeing at the first pro quest getting run over by Viserai in top 8, where it's just so much arcane. I'm like, man, I really don't have a good arcane plan. And we also saw maybe like 2 Kanos there, and I was like, if I run into Kano, this is a big issue. So I had to like adjust, and I got rewarded for it because I saw Kano at the collective, and I was able to win because I put in the tech for it. If I didn't, it's an auto loss.
Mm-hmm.
or no, not at Collective, at Haven, because I lost to Kano at
Yeah, I
Collective
remember
in
that.
top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, because I was kind of bummed about it. I was like, man, I came all this way just to get. This is before the game started, just to get blown up by Kano, because I knew that game was an auto loss. And it was.
I remember that game because we walked over to get food first. Then by the time we got back, the judge told you didn't have time to eat it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
You are not allowed to eat. IP
I had like
IP5.
I had like 5 fries and a bite of my chicken tenders, and I had to go into the game.
I think. I wanted to ask you about something too with your like deck building decisions. You were on 3 of a pretty spicy Guardian card, right? That like isn't run
Oh
very
yeah,
often.
oh
Well, what
yeah,
it's Crush Confidence, right?
yeah.
Was that
That
a
card.
mid-season change?
Yes.
Okay, talk about that.
Was it?
I think it
Yeah,
was. I think
it
it was
definitely
after
was.
week 1. I remember seeing it on
Yeah,
our Discord, like you'd be like, I think I'm gonna put this in, and everybody was like, Yeah, do it.
yeah.
So
So
talk about that.
actually, I had a pretty big mid-season change, or after the first ProQuest. I was on a lot more attack actions just for purely just win clashes and just go. But
Mhm.
then um I was afraid of a couple things, which this is more of a meta call. Teklovasin, Teklovasin, Max, and KO. So because of Teklovasin and Max, I brought in one buckle, which gives my next guardian attack +1 dominate, and if it hits, destroy equipment with a -1 counter on it.
Mm.
Putting that on Golden Sun blows out Teklovasin if they don't have a defense reaction or specifically like unmovable. Because they can't block with their equipment because Golden Sun has overpower and dominate, so they can't block with their equipment, which
Their
is
equipment's
also
all action.
actions. Yeah,
Oh.
so you just bait out a block with their equipment, which they block kind of willy nilly with their equipment anyways. Then
Dude.
you throw a buckle on a Golden Sun for 11, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't really block this,"
Yeah.
and then you
The,
blow up one of their equipment, and then you win.
the Romping Club just stays taking down Teklo-Vossens.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong.
Dude. Poor Dawson. Oh my god. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
So that, and then so Crush Confidence, I
what's
put
it do
in
again?
you lose your hero power if it does 4 or more.
Oh yeah, it's like Humble but Crush.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
put that in over Humble because I also added Terra Sunder. So I could throw Terra Sunder on that. There's a couple reasons. One, to get the dominate. Sometimes I don't care about the crush effect, but I do care about that discard too. And a lot of times I'm on either Titan's Fist for KO or Miller's, which is the small hammer. So swinging for 5 dominate is so easily blocked that the discard 2 doesn't matter. But throwing Terra Sunder on a low cost card like Crush Confidence is so consistent. Like it's so easy. It's just like doing it with a hammer, with Anathos, but you're swinging it for 8 now, 8 dominate.
Yeah. And then yeah, because the Terra Center doesn't have to crush. It's just if one gets through it. That's
Right.
super. That's super smart.
Yeah. So
And it.
and this was able to hit on a KO in one of my games at, I think, at the Haven. I turned off their hero power, which
It,
they're like, oh, this is rough.
Yeah, their draw
they put
discards
on.
are all so much worse all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did they put on a second claw?
Did they grow an arm? And they're
Did
like,
they get their
oh.
arm back because you turned off their hero text?
Yeah, for one turn they did Blood Rush and then Claw Claw.
Yeah. No, dude,
But,
that's awesome because that's a card. I don't think I've seen that card in any Victor list I've played against ever.
Me neither.
And it's
yeah,
just like
nobody's really on it.
it makes so much like the way everything you just described, the way it pairs with Terra Sunder, everything like makes so
Yeah.
much sense. And just in it, like I think that goes to show too, like you understood your deck so well, and you understood like how people were beating your deck, and you're like, okay, I'm going to address that very specific thing,
Yeah.
and you found a way to do it. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people still like are skeptical on it, like specifically Crush Confidence, that I should be putting on like something better or whatever. But when you like specifically play around it or like know that it's coming and you can like adjust on the fly to it, that's when it's like great. Or even just like rouse the ancients into crush confidence, like 7 into 7 is like great.
Yeah, that's good.
Or just it being a low cost 7 card easy, like just throw it out. If I had to block last hand, I still have a blue and crush confidence in my arsenal. Like here's 7.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the 3 cost
decent
is
numbers
huge,
on a
I'm
2-card
sure.
hand with a on crush effect that a lot of people care
Yeah,
about.
with a relevant on hit effect is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be switching it to like humble, just so I can play it like I do CNC, where I can play it off a blue tunic and pummel it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be better going forward, where I might have to be blocking a little more, and I'm not like guaranteed to have like a blue left over or whatever. New is gonna be doing. Yeah, I'm not gonna be going into that again. But
Yeah, pitch stagger for later when they have their cheese and stuff.
yeah, I was also on Righteous Cleansing, which not a lot of people are on, but
Oh,
that card is so fun.
It's
I
so
love it.
strong.
yeah.
I was able to trounce, hit a thunk, and then swing that for 12 at 1. And then I even threw in my this is why it was so bad. In my dash game, I was able to pummel it.
You pummel
Because
Oh
the
my
I
gosh.
yeah, just pummel a Righteous Cleansing and then look through their top 5 cards and banish something is like awesome.
Dude, that's what new does. You're just a new player.
Yeah, I guess I am. Except I'm a more fair version.
Yeah. You just pummel it.
Yeah.
Super fair.
Yeah, pummel's fair. Yeah, ask Ryan how
that's
fair
awesome.
pummel is.
Yeah. No, that's sweet. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that like you made those changes and like they worked.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
awesome.
it just feels good. That's kind of why I don't want to like get off Victor. Like I just have so much fun playing it. Like, and this is like my list. I didn't go looking through other people's. I would like look through and compare like ratios, something like that, or like look at a certain card. Hey, why are they running this? Maybe I should be on this. But I didn't like copy anybody's list. I think that's why this PQ season felt so good, because this is like, I think this is one of the first times that I put this list together, top to bottom. Like this is all me, and it feels pretty good.
Yeah, you should be super proud of yourself. Like you had a great season, and like you deserve it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're all super proud of you too. Putting the romping club on the map, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh.
really does. I know for sure. I can speak for Nick and Ryan in this, and Pedro and Lewis for that matter, in this regard. That like your success really makes up for the lack of ours, like in our minds and our hearts a lot.
Yeah, I kind of
Makes
just
it
want to
really
like
better.
keep figuring out how to ask you questions because I don't want to talk about my pro quest that I went to.
Yeah, same.
They say it went really poorly, and I was really sad afterwards. I don't know. Should we talk about it, or should we just stay focused on Brandon doing really well?
Yeah, I don't need to get into mine. There's no
Yeah,
value
me
to be
either.
gained from it.
I took Bolton, obviously. I will tell this one story that's kind of funny. I got paired into Riptide, the same Riptide that Brandon beat in the finals, so he avenged me, thank God. But he played because it's a horrendous matchup for Bolton. Every time I do literally anything, all of his traps are on.
All of his traps.
All of his traps are on. All the time. Like I think the only way to maybe beat it is like to pack a Saber in the sideboard and just like Saber for 2 and fatigue the whole game. So anyways, so I got paired in Riptide. And CJ, he played that like it was kind of late in the game. He played the like specialization where like if it hits, I get a courage and a quicken token.
Yeah.
And I was like, I looked at it, I was like, wait, I get that? And he was like, yeah, it turns on all my traps. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, your traps are on either way. I'm taking 4. I was like, give me those tokens, dude. That's on either way. Let's go. So then I got
Like, I don't care. Give it to me, please.
it's like, dude, your traps have been on this whole game.
It's funny because he threw that same card at me, and I read it. I was like, wait a minute, this is great. And then I CNC'd him with 7 go again.
Good play any traps, Zach.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, I'll take this.
Oh man. Well, thank you for avenging me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And I didn't say the gold foil that I opened was Raiden.
Dude, Stop.
Yeah.
I
I know
want
how
it.
much you want it. I'll sell it to you for $3 million.
Dude, I do not have that much money. If I had that much money, you would not be hearing from me ever. I'd be somewhere really cool.
Dude,
With
you'd
your
be
gold
playing
foil
Flesh and Blood.
rating.
Yeah, I'd probably dude, I'd be doing what Brody does.
Yeah.
I'd be flying around the world.
Oh yeah.
Well, no,
honestly.
shoot, I got a family. Oh, they come with me.
Yeah, they come
I
with
could
you.
hire a freaking
Yeah.
nanny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Why
Dang.
be with your family when you can just pay someone to?
dude, yeah, here's no, never mind. I wouldn't want to abandon my Flesh and Blood's not nearly as fulfilling as spending time with my family. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Unless I win the calling Minneapolis, then maybe. I did
Hey,
talk to my
that'd be
wife. I
awesome.
was like, Anna, if I do really good in the calling, like win a gold foil, win like a couple $1,000s, whatever, sell it. I was like, can I go to the World Championship in Osaka? Because I could like sell stuff and probably just pay for the whole trip. And she was like, if you can figure out, if you can ask your parents if they can watch Oliver for the week, and I go with you. And I was like, hell yeah, let's make it happen.
That'd be awesome.
So now I'm like that's why I might play KO. See if I can take that thing down. So
What about top 16? Because top 16 all get a Worlds invite.
oh shoot, really?
Yeah.
Do they get any money? How much money do you get?
I
To
don't know.
convince
I'd have
Anna,
to
I'd
find
probably
that.
have to be like, yeah, the trip's paid for. We're not spending thousands of dollars to go play a card game.
Dude, I feel like even second place, you're not going to get your trip paid for. It's an expensive trip.
How much are tickets? How much are plane
Tickets to what?
tickets? To Japan.
Japan?
Anybody know?
A lot.
Probably like
That's a
1,000
lot.
each.
No, more than
Orlando?
that. 2,000.
More than 1,000?
Yeah, dude.
Probably.
It's like 1,600 to freaking Amsterdam.
Oh my god, what is the world? 1,600 to Amsterdam?
Yeah.
No,
Alright.
dude, that's
if you
a
buy
lot.
a flight right now, it's 1,800 to Osaka.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
That's a lot.
You got to buy
That's a
two of those.
I'll sell my.
if it's you and her going.
I'll open a gold foil Mask of Momentum, and we're fine.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyways, I do. I'm kind of in the. I'm really stressing about what to play in Minneapolis.
Same.
I'm leaning KO, but we'll see. Might play Bolton still.
Like whatever can let you have the most fun, but also win you some games. That's what I
Yeah,
feel.
because I think I want to try my hardest to actually win, and I don't think Bolton is doing that.
Yeah, I think you got to play the best deck in the format if you're doing that.
Yeah,
to
and
be
I
honest.
think maybe part of me is like
Yep.
scared that like maybe I actually am bad at the game, so I'm scared of not doing good with KO.
You're definitely not bad. I don't think
should
any
go
of
to a
us are just
therapist.
bad at the game.
I should go to therapy. I gotta unpack some stuff.
I feel that.
Dude, who needs therapy when you can freaking jam games on Talishar all day?
Right? And still stress about what hero you're playing.
Yeah. I saw a tweet. It was like, men will learn how to mind palace their Kano pitch stack instead of going to therapy. It's like, dude, that's so real.
That hits hard.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think we can call it.
Yeah.
It, boys.
Appreciate
Brandon.
having you on, Brandon.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, seriously, thank you for having you on, or thank you for coming on, and we'll have you on again sometime for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I win the calling and you get second place.
Dude, that would be a great episode. We could
That would be
record
nuts.
at the table.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, Judge, I'm gonna record a podcast while we do this. So, all right, guys, see ya. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great week.